Yeah, come on, it's a very Swedish it seems to be Spain. It's sitting at 4-7 this season. Temple at 6-5. Temple's won 3 games in a row, so definitely a chance this morning to take advantage of Northwestern, make it 4 straight wins, and keep that hot streak going. But we're just about ready for tip-off. We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come back right back when this game starts. Again, I'm Zachary Silverstein alongside Andrew Mayo. This is WHIP Radio. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to WHIP Radio on YouTube for this matchup of Temple versus Northwestern women's basketball. We just got done with the intros. The starters for Northwestern are Caroline Lau, Casey Harder, Melanie Daly, Kaylee Walsh, and Paige Mott. And then for Temple, Aaliyah Nelson, Demi Washington, Tiara East, Inez Piper, and Rain Tucker. So Temple, like I said in the intro, are on a 3-game winning streak, looking to make it 4 against Northwestern, who's really struggling this season.
You see, not only are they on a 3-game winning streak, but you look at the last 5, Temple has won 4 of those 5. And their only loss, as you mentioned pregame, was by 1 point to Pacific. So Temple realistically is on a very good run here.
Yep.
And if they continue, it'll be very good as a
Definitely
conference play.
Yep. And we're just about ready for tip-off here. It's Rain Tucker jumping up for Temple, but Northwestern brings it down. Lau has it at the top of the key. Gives it down low. That's number 20, Paige Mott, who puts up the layup, but it goes in and out. Rebound pulled down by Temple. Mott with it again. Casey Harder with the top of the key being guarded by Tiara East. Harder coming around the screen, but gives over to number 21, Melanie Daly. Now she's with it again, Harder. Lau with it now. Daly pulls up for the jumper, but that's no good. Off the rim, it'll be Temple ball.
You see, right off the bat there, you're looking at the field goal percentage here for Northwestern, shooting 41% from the field, a lot higher than you think of this team considering their record.
Yep. Yeah, they're getting the basket. They're getting the ball to go in the basket, just not getting those wins to come together. As now Temple has it. It's Aaliyah Nelson gives to Piper. Piper driving in over to East in the corner. East driving in, puts up the floater. That one's good, and Temple's on the board, up 2-0.
What a great scoop and score by Tiara East, really asserting herself with that aggressive play style she's known for.
Yeah, she's one of the best players on this team. Hasn't played like it so far this season, but they need her to step up and be a leader this year. As that's number 20. That's Kaylee Walsh, pulling up for 3 and getting that one to go. And now Northwestern leads 3-2 off that deep 3 by Walsh.
Just in the previous game, Kaylee Walsh shot 50% from the field. 50% from 3. You got to watch that deep threat as a Temple defense.
Yep, she's one of the sharpshooters here for the Wildcats, as Nelson has it top of the key. Nelson, step back, pull up jumper, gets that one to go. We talked about her in the intro. She's looking like she's feeling it so far.
You always love to see Aaliyah Nelson getting her confidence up early, starting off with a basket like that.
Yeah, she's one of the most high-energy players in the entire country, and it's always good to see her getting that ball to go in that basket. As Northwestern has it now, it's Lau with it. Lau down low to Walsh. Walsh working on East, gets her to fall over, just bully ball down low, and gets the easy layup to go. Northwestern gets the lead back 5-4.
What a great job by Walsh there to notice and take advantage of a mismatch.
Yeah, that's one that we're going to be looking out for this whole game. Definitely have to contain her, but she's going to have her way down low. As now East has it on the wing, pulls up for 3. She gets it to go.
Tiara East immediately with 5 points on the board for this Temple team, tying Northwestern as a total.
Yeah, Tiara East gives Temple the lead back 7-5, and she's 2 for 2 in this game so far. And looks like there was a foul called on Northwestern as Temple will now have the ball back on the inbound. Here's Nelson with it on the right wing. Gives down low to Rain to Demi Washington. And she's called for the travel. Just shuffled her feet there.
See, Rain Tucker here in this game is going to be a massive player for Temple. Because you can't really see it on the radio, but as we see it from our seats, Kaylee Walsh towers over the rest of this roster other than Rain Tucker. So as long as Rain Tucker can keep the mismatch going or stay on Kaylee Walsh and not have a mismatch, she could win at the points by.
Absolutely. As Northwestern has it now, it's Lau driving in, but she has to pull back out as East guards her. She dumps down low to Mott trying to find her, but can, and Nelson comes up with the steal. Nelson pushing past midcourt. She gives down low to Piper. Piper, wide open layup, right down low in the paint. Gets that one to go. Temple leads 9-5.
That's that playmaking Aaliyah Nelson is known for this season, averaging 5 total assists a game. That playmaking is something that she's been very known for throughout her career at Temple.
Yeah, she's a true point guard, and they need her to have all facets of her game going. As now, that's Kaylee Walsh down low trying to make something happen, but she's called for the travel. So back-to-back travels for each team real quick in this first quarter.
Other than that travel for Temple, it seems like all green flags for the Owls, getting almost every whistle and having everything go right for them so far.
Yep, Nelson gives over to Tiara East. Now East over to Piper. Nelson with it again. She's got Rain Tucker down low as Demi Washington falls down, and that'll be a foul on number 10, Kaylee Walsh.
See, if I'm Temple, I think that this is very smart to get Kaylee Walsh in foul trouble as early as possible.
Absolutely. I mean, she's by far one of the best players on Northwestern, maybe even their best player overall. So if you can make her uncomfortable, get her in foul trouble, that's definitely going to be a good way to go. As Nelson will inbound it for the Owls. She has East. It's a high pass, but East jumps up and brings it down. East now, top of the key, being guarded by Melanie Daly. Nelson gives down low to Tucker. Tucker, up and under layup, but can't get it to go. As Northwestern has it now, it's Lau pushing past midcourt. Being guarded by East. Gives over to Harder. Harder as Piper switches on. Picks her pocket, pokes it loose. There's a one-on-one fast break. Piper goes up. And I thought there might have been a foul, but that was all ball there by Northwestern. Harder there with the great recovery on defense, not giving up after she turns the ball over.
A great recovery that was. And that's Piper there. Did a great job stripping the player and then weaving her on the transition play.
And that's 4 turnovers now for Northwestern in the last 2 minutes. TR East has it on the right wing. Comes around a screen from Rain Tucker. Now drives in. Throws up a layup. No good off the rim. And there's Walsh with it, pulling down that rebound. Walsh with it, top of the key, lets a deep three fly, barely hits the rim as Demi Washington's on the floor, gets it for the Owls. Now East has it, being guarded by Lau, driving in baseline, gives to Tucker. Tucker floats that one up and gets it to go. Temple up 6 points, 11-5 here, just over 5:20 to go in this first quarter.
You can tell that Coach Richardson put a bounty of some sort on Kaylee Walsh's head because so far she is getting bodied in the post by Rain Tucker, and they're centering every single play to facilitate through her.
Yeah, it looks like the game plan is just don't let Kaylee Walsh beat you, as that one is no good for Daly there in the corner. She can't get it to go, as here's East with it now, driving in the paint. Nice little pull-up jumper, gets it to go. TR East is feeling it. 9-0 run for the Owls. They're up 13-5.
And not only in that 9-0 run, you see that Tiara East has 7 points so far in the game, almost matching that amount.
Yeah, taking over for the Owls as Lau drives in, but there's a foul called on Temple. Just 4:42 left here in the first quarter. Going by quick this first quarter, as we're going to take a media timeout as the Owls lead 13-5 with 4 minutes and 42 seconds left in this first quarter. Off to a great start. I'm Zachary Silverstein alongside Andrew Mayo. We'll be right back here on WHIP Radio on YouTube. Hello, everyone. Welcome back into WHIP Radio on YouTube today. I'm Zachary Silverstein alongside Andrew Mayo. The Owls up 13-5 here in the first quarter. 9-0 run thanks to Aaliyah Nelson, Tiara East, and Inez Piper as well. And Andrew, I wanted you to talk about those three real quick because they are really driving that 9-0 run for the Owls.
You see, before this game, we talked about it. Tiara East and Aaliyah Nelson were going to be big factors, making sure Aaliyah Nelson stayed in her game and wasn't as off as she's been recently, and that Tiara East just keeps it coming the way she has been all season. However, with Inez Piper, something not a lot of people talk about in WHIP shows is the fact that she is just as streaky as Aaliyah Nelson at times. And we often see that she'll either have a great game or just be a complete non-factor. And so far, she has 2 points and a steal, and as long as she can keep that up, it'll be huge.
Yeah, and for Northwestern, Kaylee Lau went to the free throw line there right after the timeout. She missed the first free throw, made the second, so now Temple leads 13-6. And here's Tariana Gary just checking in, pulls up from three, can't get it to go, but Rain Tucker pulls down the rebound, can't get it to go again. Loose ball, Gary has it, gives out to Nelson. Nelson looking to reset, pulls it out. Demi Washington with it, tries to find Denise Solis, who just checked in for the Owls out of that timeout, but turns it over. And here's Northwestern with it now. Lau being guarded by Washington. Gives to Harder. Harder down low. There's Paige Mott with it. Goes up and gets that easy layup to go. Owls up 13-8. Aaliyah Nelson just crossing midcourt. Has it now. Coming around a screen from Solis. Washington with it now on the right wing. Picks up her dribble, looking for someone down low. Solis has it in the paint. Driving in, goes up off the bottom of the backboard, and here's Lau with it for Northwestern, pushing. She's got options. Gives up to Daly. Daly can't control it. It goes out of bounds, and it'll be Temple ball.
Somebody who seems a little bit shaky in this game for Temple is Demi Washington.
Yeah.
She's just kind of struggling to keep her dribble. She's turning the ball over a little bit, and that's just something that you can't really have, especially after this great offensive run Temple's been having.
Yeah, so far this game, she doesn't look comfortable. I mean, like you said, she got the ball a couple times, picked up her dribble, looks a little indecisive, not knowing what to do with it. But we have some substitutions for the Owls. That'll be number 11, Tristan Taylor, coming in for Temple. As here's Nelson with it now, gives over to Taylor. Taylor back over to Nelson. She's got Piper top of the key. Gives to Gary. Gary down low to Solis. Solis driving in. Good dish to Piper, but she can't contain it. On the floor diving. And she's going to be called for a travel, Northwestern ball.
See, we just saw some excellent ball movement there by the Owls. Moving the ball all facets of the court, all around the offensive zone. Just couldn't get it to connect there at the end.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. Like you said, very good ball movement. But Piper, she would have had a wide open layup if she was able to hold on to that one. But now the Wildcats will have the ball as they inbound it to Lau. And that's a turnover on Northwestern.
I don't think the ball touched anybody there.
Yeah.
I think it went right past number 2 for Northwestern and went straight out of bounds.
Yeah, I think Caroline Lau pulled her hand back thinking that Tristan Taylor of Temple touched it. But she did not, and that'll be a turnover on Northwestern. Temple getting the ball back. As here's Piper with it now. Gives over to Solis, top of the key. Gary has it on the wing. Over to Nelson. She pulls up for three. No good off the rim as Kaylee Walsh, the tallest player on the court, pulls that down for Northwestern. Here's Northwestern with it now. Number 12, Harder. Harder looking for Walsh down low on Piper. Might have a mismatch. And she knows it. Working down low. Goes up for the easy layup. And now Northwestern trails 13-10.
See, the second Northwestern saw that Rain Tucker and Demi Washington came out, the big towers in the paint. They immediately went for the mismatch with Inez Piper and are hammering it down low.
Yeah, Kaylee Walsh averaging 11.5 this season, and she's definitely the go-to player for Northwestern. Here's Piper with it down low, but a good closeout by Walsh on the baseline. Back out to Nelson. Nelson driving in, pulls up, tough mid-range jumper. Can't get it to go, out of bounds. Looked like it might have been off Solis last, but the referee says it touched Northwestern.
You see, what we're seeing right now is solely responsible for why people tend to think that Aaliyah Nelson is a streaky player. What will happen is she'll get off to a great start, and then she'll miss a couple shots, and sometimes she lets it affect the rest of her game. But if you're Aaliyah Nelson, you cannot let simple misses like that get in your head, and you got to keep shooting. You got to keep the confidence.
Yeah, in the first 5.5 minutes of this game, Temple went on a 9-0 run, but now on a scoring drought in the last 2 minutes and 41 seconds. No points as Kaylee Walsh checks out of the game, so now could be some work down low to do. as Rain Tucker tried to, but couldn't get that layup to go. Here's number 12, Harder with it, driving in and gets that easy layup to fall.
What a good right-hand scoop there for Northwestern. Getting the points on the board, just 1 point away from tying this game.
Yeah, now just trailing 13-12, getting back into it. As Tristan Taylor gives it over to Gary. Gary, top of the key to Rain Tucker. Now Nelson has it on the wing, being guarded by Maggie Pina. Piper with it, driving in on Lau. Tried to do a little reverse layup, but can't get it to go as Lau gives up to Harder. Harder driving in. Pull-up jumper. No good off the rim. Temple catching a break as Tucker pulls down the rebound. Nelson has it now. Has to hurry and get past midcourt. Has Gary on the wing. Paige Mott with a good closeout on Gary as she has to give over to Aaliyah Nelson. But now Gary has it back. Tucker, good pass down low to Piper, Piper with the up and under layup. Gets that one to go. Temple up 15-12.
It's good to see Piper finally connecting on those passes. That's maybe the third try that they've had, and it finally worked out.
Yeah, great ball movement for Temple so far in this first quarter. As Mott has it, but a great closeout by Nelson. Dives out of bounds trying to save it, but she can't. Northwestern will have it. Pina over to Caroline Lau. Lau pull up for three. No good off the rim. And that's Tristan Taylor pulling down the rebound and forcing that foul.
You see, even though that steal didn't work for Aaliyah Nelson initially, it forced a lot of pressure on this Northwestern offense to eventually turn the ball over, and those hustle plays are really what's going to keep Temple in this game.
And that's exactly what you need, especially with Kaylee Walsh out of the game. And just as I say her name, she checks back in. So the coach for Northwestern, Joe McCown, not liking what he was seeing from his team, even though they did score some points without Walsh on the court, but now bringing her back in for the last 38 minutes of this first quarter. Gary has it now, looking for Piper, trying to find East down low, but turns it over as Pina has it, pulling out for Northwestern. Here's a pull-up jumper, and that's Harder. Gets that three-point jumper to go on the wing. Tie game 15-15.
What a beautiful play by Northwestern there. You see the pass went right behind Tristan Taylor's back on the half-court pass and then got right to the open man down court for the wide open.
Yeah, could have very easily rushed there, but took their time and found the open shooter. As here's now Taylor with it with 5 seconds. 4. East lets that fly on the wing. Gets that three to go. As time expires in the first quarter, Tierra East feeling it. 10 points in this first quarter. 4 for 5 from the field. Temple leads 18-15 after this first 10 minutes.
Tierra East consistently all season has been the difference maker for this Owl squad, putting up the final three, not letting this game stay tied, giving Temple the advantage here at the end of the first. It's going to be huge for the Owls.
And that's going to do it all for us in this first quarter. I'm Zachary Silverstein alongside Andrew Mayo. We'll be back for the second quarter where we'll see if Temple can keep that hot streak there to end that first quarter going to open up the second half. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to WHIP Radio on YouTube. I'm Zachary Silverstein alongside Andrew Mayo. And Temple in that first quarter started out really hot, but then got cold, but then ended that quarter with some nice points there and a three-pointer by Tiara East to end that first quarter. She now has 10 in this game so far through the first 10 minutes of the game.
See, as we've been saying all morning, Tiara East has been a huge player for Temple. Consistently has been all season. But you look at some other two players on the court, Ines Piper and Aaliyah Nelson. They've basically been foil versions of each other. Aaliyah Nelson got points on the board early. It's kind of cooled off a little bit. And then you look at Ines Piper. Took a little bit to get into it, but finally got some points on the board. So as long as those two can stay consistent and get points up, the Owls will have a lot going for them.
As Temple has it now, Demi Washington pulls up for that mid-range jumper. Can't get it to go, but Tiara East has it now, being guarded by Pina. Now here's Tristan Taylor with the top of the key. She's got East again. Pino on her once again. Gary in the corner. And she tries to give to Gary, but can't. Gary cuts baseline, can't get it to her. Rain Tucker throws up that layup. Really deep layup there, kind of a little floater, and gets it to go after a couple bounces. Temple up 20-15.
See, that was a ditch effort for the Owls. A very risky pass for Tiara East, but it just happened to work out too.
And Tucker had to force it up because the shot clock was about to expire, and luckily got it to go. Here's Paige Mott with it, driving in on Taylor. Little mismatch. Can't get the layup to go, but pulls down the rebound, but then loses it. A scrum on the floor. I believe that's Demi Washington on the court. And waiting for the ref signal here. Looks like it'll be Northwestern ball. I believe a jump ball there. And Northwestern will have possession.
See, outside of the jump ball call here, the refs have been putting the whistle in their pockets, letting a lot go down the paint, leaving a very physical game here.
Yep. And here's Mott with it. Now, Northwestern still with it. It's Harder with it. As Temple forces the turnover, Demi Washington steals that one. She's pushing past midcourt. She's taking her time. It gives over to Taylor. Taylor being guarded by Daly. Over to Gary. Gary down low to Tucker. Tucker. Here's Gary wide open on the wing for three. Can't get it to go. Tucker, good offensive rebound. Throws up the layup while falling over. Washington being physical again. Forces the jump ball. And it should be Temple possession. We'll wait for the referee's signal. But like you said, Andrew, a very physical game. And Temple players diving all over the court.
We saw Rain Tucker go down there, stay on the floor for a couple seconds. However, she got herself back up. It's good to see because she's going to be a huge factor for the rest of this season. But as we take a look back at the previous play, Demi Washington, as we mentioned, was having some offensive woes for the Owls on the scoring side. However, she's making up for it with the defensive plays, getting the steal, forcing the turnover.
And we have a substitution here for Northwestern. Pina comes out for Mercy Adam Usayo. As here's Demi Washington working down low on Harder. Pulls up a nice little mid-range jumper, but misses pretty badly, and that'll be out of bounds off the knee of Mick Williams. It'll stay with Temple. That was Jasmine McWilliams trying to get down that rebound for the Wildcats, but couldn't get it to go off her knee. Temple will retain possession. A lot of loose balls here that are going Temple's way.
You see, it's good to see Aaliyah Nelson has checked back in here for the Owls because, as we mentioned, she did start off hot and then got a little streaky towards the end of the first. The only way for Aaliyah Nelson to get back in her form is to give her the minutes to play and get the shots up.
Yeah. She only took 9 shots on Sunday against LaSalle. Only had 4 points against them in 26 minutes. She shot 2 for 9. Did have 5 assists. We said that she's a very good distributor. But, she's the heart and soul of this team, and they need her to start getting it going if they want to have success.
You see, in the very least, Aaliyah Nelson is consistently always dishing the rock, averaging 5 assists a game, having 5 in the previous game on Sunday against LaSalle. However, the point scoring is very here and there.
Yeah.
Because, as we said, Aaliyah Nelson has kind of been weak on the scoring side recently. However, University of Delaware in that game, Aaliyah Nelson really showed up and brought it for the Owls. But we're going to need to see more here from Aaliyah Nelson if we really want her to be a huge factor in this win.
Yeah. And it looks like the referees are going to the monitor to look at that replay to clarify that out-of-bounds call. They said that it hit off Jasmine McWilliams' knee and it was Temple possession. But they want to double-check it. So we're in a timeout right now, but we're not going to go to break. We're going to stay here to talk a little bit about – we talked a lot about Temple, but now let's talk about Northwestern a little bit. Obviously, a lot of attention on Kaylee Walsh But Casey Harder for Northwestern has 5 points. She's 2 for 3, 1 for 1. 2 for 3 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3-point range, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block in 12 minutes. Let's talk a little bit about her. She's feeling it a little bit.
You see, something to appreciate about Harder's game is the fact that she's been in the game for 12 whole minutes already. The entire game has only taken 3 shots. However, I chalk a lot of that up to patience and waiting for the right shot attempts and shot selection. Because as you see, her field goal percentage is great this game, going 2 for 3 from the field. I take that over going 1 for 8 any day.
And it's impressive, too, because she's only a freshman. So her first season in college, looks like she already has that patience and that basketball understanding to not rush, not let the moment be too big. I know for a lot of freshmen, maybe sometimes they try to rush and do too much. She lets the game come to her. And so far this morning, it's been Kaylee Walsh, of course, but then the second option has been Harder in this game so far.
See, and if you just look at Harder in general, a 5'11" freshman guard.
Yeah.
For Northwestern, you're going to want to hold on to her as long as possible.
Absolutely.
Because a guard with that type of size is going to be huge for securing rebounds, which is huge in this sport.
Yeah, and she's played in all 11 games so far for the Wildcats this season. Has only started in 3 of them, but she's averaging 6.5 points a game, just under 2 assists, exactly 3 rebounds, just under 1 steal. She's shooting 42% from the field, 38.5% from 3-point range, which is really impressive for a freshman to be that locked in from long range.
You see, not only that, but in her previous game played against Bradley on December 17th, she did play 38 minutes, but only had 6 points. You see, I think that is something. I think Bradley really noticed what we talked about, how she is very good with shot selection and taking the shots that she wants and she needs. However, they limited those shots, and they kept her really wondering what she was going to make. And when you look at her field goal, she shot 3 for 11.
Yeah. And after that replay review, we're back out of that timeout. The refs confirm it is Temple basketball as Aaliyah Nelson will inbound it for the Owls. And wide open, Rain Tucker on the baseline. Northwestern was caught sleeping. Temple now up 22-15 after that easy layup. Great find by Aaliyah Nelson. As Nelson's going to be guarding Lau, who just crosses midcourt. Gives over to 21, Melanie Daly. Adam Usayo has it top of the key. Now over to Daly again. Pulls up for a deep mid-range jumper. Can't get it to go. East pulls down the rebound. She's pushing. Just crossed midcourt. Driving in. Being real aggressive. Throws up that floater. Can't get it to go off the rebound. But love the aggressiveness from Tiara East in this game.
Just like we said after the very first point scored in this game by Tiara East. She has a very aggressive, get to the rim, muck and grind play style. And it consistently works against these teams that they play out of conference because they don't see it coming and they don't expect it.
Yeah, and Tiara East is a 5'10 junior guard for the Owls. She started in all 11 games so far this season for them. Had 13 points in 25 minutes on Sunday against LaSalle. And now she'll go to the free throw line. Looking to add 2 more points to her total. Has 10 in this game. Shooting 74% from the line. 26 for 35 as her first free throw is no good, too strong off the back rim. She is, like I said, a junior out of Louisville, Kentucky, out of Butler Traditional High School. Her 3rd year with the Owls as she gets that second free throw to fall. Owls lead 23-15, 7:39 remaining in the second quarter.
See, not only that, but she's a consistent point scorer, putting up 11 points a game, which is a lot more than a lot of the other Owls can say.
Yeah, she's very consistent. As that's a good find down low as number 20, Paige Mott, gets an easy layup to go off the mismatch in the paint. 23-17 Owls. So Lee Nelson has it over to Gary. Here's Demi Washington over to East. East guarded by Lau. Finds Rain Tucker. Tucker driving in on Walsh. Passes out to East. Gary thought about a 3. Jab step. Then pulls up. No good. Oh, it took a couple bounces, 4 bounces in and out, but Temple gets the ball back. Here's Nelson with it. Pulls up for 3 on the wing. No good off the rim, but Tucker pulls down the rebound. Nelson with it again. Second chance opportunity. Nice pass down low to Washington. She can't get the layup to go, and that'll stay. I believe it'll stay with Temple. It will. Andrew, so many opportunities there for the Owls. You love the aggressiveness on the offensive boards, but you got to get those shots to fall.
Definitely. And Aaliyah Nelson had a beautiful pass there to Demi Washington, who, as we said, has been struggling offensively.
As here's East, top of the key, lets the 3 fly. Air ball. It looked like it might have been tipped. And I don't believe it was because it is Northwestern ball. So just not a good shot there by TR East.
Something Temple's got to watch out for that happened in the previous play before the inbound was the passing between Tiara East and Rain Tucker. So far throughout this game, we've seen 3 very risky passes made by Tiara East to Rain. And even though they've all connected, sooner or later, Northwestern's going to take note.
Yeah, and here's Lau driving in, but can't get that layup to go as Temple has it. East driving in. Pull-up jumper. Can't get it to go. Trying to get it over Walsh. Grabs down the rebound. That's Rain Tucker grabbing down the offensive board and putting it back in for 2. Temple leads 25-17. And there's Rain Tucker once again crashing the offensive board. She's got 8 rebounds already in this first half.
You love seeing your big man know what to do down in the post with their hands. Getting the rebound and not taking it down dribbling. Getting it high, keeping it high.
And great defense for Temple as they will force the turnover. I believe that's a charging foul on Kaylee Walsh. And, of course, it was Rain Tucker once again. And, Andrew, like I said, Rain Tucker, 8 rebounds. 6 of those rebounds are offensive. So she's having her way down low. Kaylee Walsh, not a problem for her at all. She's having her way with Kaylee Walsh in the paint.
See, when it comes to Kaylee Walsh, a big thing to remember is that she only secures about 6 rebounds a game.
Yeah.
Even though that's a lot objectively, for somebody of her size, you'd expect a little more. And I think Rain Tucker has taken note of that.
Yeah, and Inez Piper has it out for the Owls. I thought about a pull-up jumper, but gives out to Tucker. Here's Nelson with it. Nice move, trying to drive baseline. Went up for the jumper. It looked like there might have been some contact, but the refs let it go. It'll stay with Temple because the ball went out of bounds, but Aaliyah Nelson wanted the foul call there.
You see, Aaliyah Nelson, that's a good way to try to get yourself into a good mode, just in a good headspace to score, is drawing a foul and getting the ball in your own zone.
And a risky pass there by Nelson on the inbound, but Piper has it. Nelson pulls up for 3, can't get it to go at the shot clock buzzer. Temple again with another offensive rebound. Nelson with a nice crossover, has East. East driving in on Walsh. Walsh blocks it and bats it out to Melanie Daly. Daly driving in, but East steals it. Here's Nelson with it now, just crossing midcourt off the steal by East. Nelson behind the back. Turnaround, pull-up jumper. In and out, can't get it to go. Aaliyah Nelson really struggling, but getting some good looks. Here's Caroline Lau with it. Temple 1 for their last 10 from the field.
Wow.
Almost another turnover. Oh, that was a turnover forced by Temple. Bad pass by Northwestern, and the Owls will have it again. That is the 10th turnover here for Northwestern. Not even through two quarters.
You see, following the pass directly out of bounds, if you're Northwestern right now, you just got to be exhausted. Watching Temple get every single offensive rebound, and every time you walk down the court, you either throw the ball away or get stripped from you.
Nothing more frustrating than playing great defense and not pulling down the offensive board. As Tiara East pulls up for 3 on the right wing and gets that one to go. Tiara East still feeling it. 14 points, 3 for 4 from three-point range. She's leading both teams in scoring.
TRE smells some blood in the water here from Northwestern, noticing their miscues and taking advantage and scoring now while she can.
Yeah, and Temple almost forcing another turnover, but that'll stay with Northwestern. They'll have the inbound on the baseline under their own basket. Northwestern hasn't scored a single point in the last 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Struggling on the offensive boards, struggling to contain Tiara East, who she's having her best game of the season so far here just in the first half, 14 points. But we're going to go to a quick break here as there's a timeout called. Temple leads Northwestern 28-17, 4:28 remaining in this first half. I'm Zachary Silverstein alongside Andrew Mayo. We'll be right back after this short break. Just a quick break there as we're back on WHIP radio. Kaylee Walsh pulls up off the inbound but can't get it to go. TR East has the board. Crossing midcourt now over to Aaliyah Nelson, top of the key. She's calling out a play while being guarded by Paige Mott. Having her offense set up, pulls it out, gives over to Piper, who almost gets Mott to go down. Piper, nice little floater there, but can't get it to go. Rolls off the rim.
See, Ness Piper is doing a lot right here, dishing well, driving well, not really having any dribbling miscues, but just can't quite get the ball to fall through.
Yeah, she's looking like a. You don't see her handle the ball too much, but she's doing a lot of that here this morning in this game. As here's Kaylee Walsh with the top of the key. As that's Daly with it now, being guarded by East. Pull-up jumper, can't get it to go. Great defense by East. She pulls down the rebound, and they're fighting for it. That's going to be a jump ball, as Tiara East not giving in, doing everything she can to pull down that rebound for Temple.
See things getting a little chippier on the far end of the court.
They are.
East, no doubt, being in the middle of it, as we said, with the aggressive play style, sometimes comes with some mixed emotions here.
Yeah, I think you can tell how comfortable she is in this game. You can just see in how aggressive she is. She wants the ball in her hands. She wants to take over. And so far, she's done just that. As it'll be Northwestern ball, they're going to inbound it on the baseline. That'll be Lau, number 2, inbounding it. The sophomore guard out of Westport, Connecticut. We're waiting. There were some substitutions here. Paige Mott checking out of the game for Northwestern. As Caroline Lau gives to Daly. Daly pull-up jumper, no good off the rim. Piper pulls down the rebound. She crosses midcourt, but then pulls it out, gives over to Nelson. Nelson being guarded by Daly. Gives over to Demi Washington. Washington between the legs, but almost turns it over. Nelson grabs the loose ball. Tiara East with it, being guarded by number 12, Harder. Tiara East, nice spin move. Loses it, but gets it back. She's in trouble. Gives over to Nelson. Great pass by Leah Nelson. Inez Piper can't get the point-blank layup to go. But Temple pulls down the offensive rebound. Piper with it. Pull-up jumper. That's off the rim. She couldn't get that one to go either.
Inez Piper's really just struggling to get the ball to fall in any way here. Missing both a layup and a mid-range jumper.
A lot of point-blank shots there for Inez Piper. Can't get it to go. But Temple pulling down that offensive rebound. And speaking of the rebounds, Andrew, Temple, we talked about it during the break, 15 offensive rebounds in this first half so far, which is incredible for Temple.
See, offensive rebounds have been something for Temple that they've just been struggling with all season, not really hauling them in that much. And you just look on the season, and so far with that being a general miscue, it's really nice to see this team coming into form and finally making it work.
Yeah, Northwestern will inbound, and here's Walsh driving in, easy layup, no one in front of her, just Temple looking like they just let her go with that rebound.
Almost effortless there for Walsh, just waltzing right into the post and scoring.
But also might have been smart by Nelson, who's much smaller than Walsh, and the chances of stopping her without fouling are very slim. So just give her the 2 points. Don't give her the chance for the M1.
Especially when you have an advantage like this here late in the first half.
Yeah, you have room to work with. Up 11, now up 9 after that layup. But 11-point lead, just let her go. Get those 2 points. You're still up 9. As Temple will inbound it, but a little stoppage in play, I think. Tiara East being checked out by the trainer. Might have had some blood on her finger as I think they wrapped up her thumb. This will be Temple inbounding it. Demi Washington inbounded it to Aaliyah Nelson. Nelson over to East, just crossing midcourt. High pass by East, but Nelson pulls it down. Washington pulling in, tries to have a little floater, but blocked by Walsh. So now Kaylee Walsh starting to make her presence felt down low in the paint, as Caroline Lau has it. Gives over to number 3, Maggie Pina. Pina being guarded by Washington, top of the key. That's a pull-up jumper for Goodchild. She can't get it to go, as Temple pulls down the rebound. It's Leah Nelson crossing midcourt. Nelson finds East. East, nice spin move on Goodchild. Pull-up jumper, no good off the rim. As Temple can't get the offensive rebound, Caroline Lau driving in, coast to coast. Easy layup to go. Northwestern cutting the deficit to 28-21, down just 7 here at the 2-minute warning here in the second quarter.
What a quick play there by Caroline Lau. She went from the Temple free throw line to scoring a basket in what felt like a second and a half.
Wasted no time there going to coast as Nelson has it now, top of the key. That is Tiara East in the corner for 3. No good off the rim. Tariana Gary with another offensive rebound for the Owls.
Feels like Temple cannot walk down the floor without carrying an offensive board so far in this game at all.
They get one every trip, as that'll be a foul on Caroline Lau as she's trying to steal it from Demi Washington. And we'll have a substitution for Northwestern. Number 13, Mercy Adam Usayo checking in for the Wildcats.
You see, Zach, as we talked about pregame, the two biggest factors that we saw for this matchup was going to be Caroline Lau and Kaylee Walsh.
Yep.
As we said last game, they both had 17 and 19 points on their respective own. However, you look in this game, Caroline Lau so far only has 3 of those points, 2 of which we just saw in a transition bucket. And Kaylee Walsh only has 9 so far.
Yeah, and Demi Washington tried to drive in for a layup there, but it was blocked by Northwestern. Now that's a 3 by Northwestern, and that's good. Number 3, Maggie Pina gets that wide open 3-point jumper to fall. And that was her first points of the game. She's got 3, 1 for 1 from the field. Tariana Gary working on the wing, guarded by Pina. Now it gives over to East. East being guarded by Kaylee Walsh. Walsh having the switch. That's Pina on her now. Tiara East, nice move, but can't get the floater to go. Another offensive rebound for Tucker. Tucker throws it up, but is fouled. I know that'll be a travel called on Rain Tucker, but yet again, another offensive rebound. That is 18 here in this first half.
See, Rain Tucker's been hitting the deck a lot in this game. As we mentioned, the ref's been putting the whistles away a little bit, letting things go in the paint, letting the aggressive play style unfold. However, it's resulting in Temple Center really just hitting the floor a lot, and it's risking some injury. And
there's just under 30 seconds to go in this first half, as Caroline Lau has it being guarded by Leah Nelson. A great steal by Rain Tucker. Fast break layup. Easy layup for 2. Rain Tucker playing the passing lanes and gets a nice easy 2 points for her team. 10 seconds to go. Caroline Lau being guarded by Leah Nelson. Lau gets around her. Demi Washington goes down. Good pass to Adam Usayo. Easy layup. Nelson has it, and she's just going to let that first half buzzer expire. A great steal there by Rain Tucker, getting some momentum, but then an easy 2 points given up by the Owls as Adam Usayo had a nice easy layup. So Temple now leading 30-26 here at halftime, but you don't want to give up easy points like that to end the half, Andrew.
You see, you obviously don't want to give up points like that, especially now that Temple only leads by 4 here at the end of the half, despite leading by such a larger margin for most of this first half. But you look at the Temple side, the 2 biggest factors clearly have been Rain Tucker and Tiara East. Rain Tucker with 10, Tiara East with 14, both of them combining for 24 of Temple's 30.
Yeah.
Only 6 points scored on the court outside of those 2 alone. And if you're Temple, I mean, of course you want them to keep it up, but you got to start firing on other players here.
Yeah, I think that obviously it worked playing through those 2, but you have to imagine that Northwestern's going to try to make adjustments at halftime. Their coaches are going to talk to them and say, look, we have to do something different on Tiara East and Rain Tucker, and that may force Aaliyah Nelson and Tiana Gary to step up a little bit. Tariana Gary 0 for 3 from the field. All 3 of her shots have been from beyond the 3-point line. Can't get any of them to fall. She's a very good shooter, and they're going to need her to start feeling it in that second half because you can't just rely on Tucker and East the entire game.
You see, speaking of shooting and Tariana Gary, you look at the other 3 players who were on the court to close out that half, Aaliyah Nelson, Demi Washington, and Tariana Gary herself. And you just look at the field goal, those 3 combined shot 1 for 15 in the game so far. And if you're Temple, of course you love having these huge performances from your more aggressive and bigger players, but you really need to just get the ball to fall in other aspects and get the 3-ball going, shooting mid-range, having an S. Piper and Aaliyah Nelson really turn up and not kind of cower away a little bit.
And it's really interesting, too. Temple was actually lucky to be leading here at halftime. They were 1 for their last 9 to close out that second quarter, and they are shooting just 19.2%. Excuse me. That was in the second quarter. 29.5% for the game from the field. And Northwestern shooting much better. They're 45.8% from the field. So Northwestern shooting very good. Temple not shooting well at all. But Northwestern finds themselves trailing. And I think it has a lot to do with the offensive rebounds for Temple. So many second chance opportunities. And of course, they didn't take advantage of them.
You see, if you're Temple with those second chance opportunities, that's something you got to exploit. You got to take advantage of. And Temple's not, as we said, not shooting very well outside of the paint. So if you're going to be getting all those second chance points, I personally, if I'm Coach Richardson, I tell them to stop dishing it out. Just get the rebound, keep it high, and put it back up. Get more points on the board than you would otherwise, because clearly it's not working anywhere else.
Yeah, definitely. But no matter all the struggles they had on offense, Temple does find themselves leading here 30-26 at halftime. which is incredible considering they're shooting almost 15% lower than their opponent. But that's going to do it all for this first half broadcast. Stay with us. I'm Zachary Silverstein alongside Andrew Mayo. But we'll have the second half call for you. Looking to see if Temple can pick up their offensive shooting in the second half. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll be right back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back in the WHIP Radio, where I'm Zachary Silverstein alongside Andrew Mayo. We're going to have the second half call for you here with college women's basketball. Temple versus Northwestern. Temple leading 30-26. And Andrew, that first half was kind of mixed for Temple. They were very good with the offensive rebounds, 17 offensive rebounds, and Northwestern has 17 rebounds total. So Temple dominating the rebounding category and also getting up a lot more shots than Northwestern. 44 total shots to just 24 for Northwestern. So I want to get your thoughts on the shot total differential as well as the rebounding disparity for Northwestern.
You see, a big thing with Temple here is just clearly these two things are connected.
Yeah.
Because with the offensive rebounds, it gives Temple more chances to shoot. However, Temple just keeps missing.
Yep.
So the second the offensive rebounds stop and Northwestern can figure out how to limit this team in that facet, Temple's scoring is over. And Northwestern will be able to run away with it. It's just a matter of if Northwestern can figure that out.
Yeah, and something that's very concerning is that outside of Rain Tucker and Tiara East, Temple's only made 3 shots. And S. Piper's made 2, and Lee Nelson's made 1. You like to think that they keep up their hot scoring in the second half, both Tucker and East, but you can't just rely on them. So Temple's going to need contributions from a lot of other players in this second half.
Not just a lot of other players, but literally anybody.
Yeah, just somebody.
Tucker and Tiara East, as we said out of the half.
Yeah. And here's Nelson with it now, starting the second half for the Owls. At the free throw line, looking for Tiara East. East pulls up for 3. No good off the front of the rim. And almost an offensive rebound for Temple, but Northwestern will pull it down. That's Caroline Lau, who was fighting for it on the floor.
We see the rebound story is starting to look like it's about to play out the same way.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. But as long as Temple can keep that up, then it'll really just not be too difficult to keep themselves in this game.
And this is Harder with it now. At midcourt being guarded by East. Over to Daly. Daly down low to Walsh. Walsh working on Tucker. Nice turnaround floater. Gets that one to go, no problem. So now Temple just up 30-28. As here's Demi Washington, wide open pull-up jumper. Can't get it to go, but another offensive rebound for the Owls. And here's Nelson with it on the right wing. Nelson, good pass down low to Tucker. Tucker tried to go up, but it was deflected. Demi Washington pull-up jumper, no good. Almost another offensive board, but Caroline Lau has it pushing for the Wildcats. Out to Walsh. Walsh pulls up for 3. No good off the outside of the rim, and that'll be out of bounds, Temple ball.
I think what the issue is here for Northwestern rebounding-wise is that a lot of their rebounds this far, or just so far this season, rely on one Kaylee Walsh. I mean, as we said, she averages 6 rebounds a game alone. And once you take Kaylee Walsh out of the equation, it seems that Northwestern can't really figure out how to get boards on their own.
Yeah, they definitely run through her, and if she's not going, then it's going to be tough. And here's Tiara East with it. Nice little, she tried to throw that one up there, but off the backboard, but out of bounds because Northwestern could not control it off the fingertips of Caroline Lau. And Demi Washington will inbound it for the Owls. And speaking of Walsh, just back to her, she is leading the Wildcats in scoring with 11, 5 for 8 from the field, 5 rebounds. Having a very nice game, 2 blocks as well, but needs contributions from her teammates. As here's Aaliyah Nelson with it. Step back, pull-up jumper, and that's an air ball. And Andrew, she really needs to pick it up in the second half and get things going.
See, as we mentioned earlier, something we talked about was Aaliyah Nelson's confidence and the shot selection. Sometimes Aaliyah Nelson will start to miss a few shots and then let it affect her mental, and you can kind of see it here coming out that way. But she cannot let that happen. She needs to keep shooting and get the rim, or get the bucket in the rim.
As Paige Mott has it down low, working on Inez Piper, gets that layup to fall. Tie game, 30-30 here. Just over 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Aaliyah Nelson has it at the top of the key, while just about midcourt being guarded by Melanie Daly. Still guarded by Daly on the left wing. Piper with it. 3-pointer by Piper. No good off the front of the rim. You don't see that too often from Inez Piper, but she was wide open and she took a shot. Just couldn't get it to go. As here's Harder with it. Casey Harder. Double team on Lau. Pull-up jumper by Daly. Wide open. Gets that to go. And now Northwestern takes the lead 32-30. And this is where Temple might start to find themselves in some trouble here. As Diane Richardson doesn't like what she sees and calls the timeout, wants to talk things over with her squad.
You see, Temple has been surviving on their second chance opportunities, but that's not something you can survive on alone. Temple really needs to find a way to get their shots to fall initially and not need the offensive board.
Yeah, Diane Richardson needs to make some adjustments here. Maybe she needs to get some other people going, not just East and Tucker. But we're going to take a quick break here on WHIP Radio. I'm Zachary Silverstein alongside Andrew Mayo. We'll be right back after this short break. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to WHIP Radio on YouTube. I'm Zachary Silverstein with Andrew Mayo. And Andrew, we talked about it during the break. Temple dominating the offensive glass with 19 offensive rebounds, but only 6 second chance points, so not taking advantage of their physical play to grab down those offensive boards.
You see, this is what we've been saying. I mean, with offensive rebounds, just as we said coming out of that first break, or coming out of this first break here in the quarter, was that they cannot survive on second chance opportunities alone. They need to get the shots to fall initially.
And here's Aaliyah Nelson with it off the inbound. Trying to work baseline. Tough fadeaway jumper. Can't get it to go. Inez Piper, offensive rebound. Puts in the easy layup. So just as we talk about how much they've been struggling, they get second chance points to go.
You see, something Temple needs more than anything here is for somebody to turn up. And if Inez Piper has to be that person, I think that she's very capable of it.
Yeah, and Kaylee Walsh loses the handle, dives for it, and I believe it'll be a jump ball, but possession will stay with the Wildcats as they have the possession arrow. So sloppy play there by Kaylee Walsh, who is leading the Wildcats in scoring. She has 11 points, 5 for 8 from the field. As now it's a pull-up jumper from Harder, and she gets it to go. They take the lead back 34-32. Aaliyah Nelson working quickly, not wasting any time, but then she pulls it back out. TR East has it over to Rain Tucker. Tucker over to Gary now. Piper with it. Nelson with it down low to Tucker. She's got Walsh on her. Trying to work baseline. Good layup by Tucker. That would have been a spectacular finish by Tucker if she could have got that to go, but a couple bounces and then fell off the rim.
You see something that we have not seen here so far in this game, a rare sight, if you will, is anybody at the free throw line.
Only 4 this game for both teams combined. And now this is Rain Tucker at the free throw line. She's shooting 69% from the line as her first free throw there is good. Now 10 for 14 on the season after that make. She's averaging just under 9 points per game. Has started all 11 games there for the Owls. As her second free throw is good as well. So now 11 for 15 on the season.
See, just as a basketball fan, there's nothing I love more than a center who can make free throws.
That's all you need. And obviously, fans of Philadelphia know exactly what's that. They know exactly what that is like with Joel Embiid on the Sixers. As Northwestern can't get that one to go, Rain Tucker fights for the rebound. Here's Aaliyah Nelson with it pushing across half court on Paige Mount. A little bit of a mismatch. Nelson takes advantage but can't get the layup to go. So Aaliyah Nelson, a lot smaller than Paige Mott, and used her quickness to her advantage, but blew the layup.
See, Aaliyah Nelson has been struggling everywhere on the court so far in this game. 0 for 3 from 3, 1 for 10 from the field, not hitting from mid-range, not hitting from deep 2, not hitting the layups, not hitting the transition points. So if I'm Aaliyah Nelson, I just understand this, and I just start to dish and find people who can hit.
And speaking of Nelson, again, a wide open pull-up jumper in the corner and can't get it to go. That's off the rim as Caroline Lau has it now pushing for the Wildcats. Walsh over to Daly. And we have a whistle. That's a foul on the floor. I believe that'll be on Denise Solis. Yeah, Denise Solis will be called for the foul there on Paige Mott.
You see, if I have to pick any Temple center to take a foul there and have that stat in their box score, I think it's probably going to be Denise Solis. I'm going to want to have Rain Tucker in this game as much as possible late game.
Yeah,
It's clearly going to be a close one.
You cannot have Rain Tucker in foul trouble. And I think, like you said, if there's anybody on the floor that you can risk getting those fouls, it's definitely Solis. I mean, she is averaging just not even a point per game, just under 1 point per game, 0.8 on the season. Just her second appearance on the season. So definitely out there, not looking to do too much. Diane Richardson kind of probably has her out there as a decoy a little bit to kind of take some pressure off of her teammates. But yeah, she's definitely one that you could sacrifice a little bit, Andrew. So at least a fifth-year player, and kind of shocking that she's in her fifth year and has only played in 2 games this season, but Richardson likes what she sees from everybody else as Adam Usayo gets that tough little floater to go over Solis, speaking of her. So now Northwestern takes the lead back 36-34 as Aaliyah Nelson has it. Need to get Aaliyah Nelson going. A nice pass to Solis, and she can't hold on to the ball. That was a perfect find by Aaliyah Nelson, but Solis turned it over. Here's Lau pushing just across midcourt. Harder has it on the right wing, driving in on East. Great closeout by East, staying with her. Daly driving in, little floater, can't get it to go. That'll be out of bounds. Hit a Temple defender last, and then it'll stay with the Wildcats.
Aaliyah Nelson seems to forgot we are playing basketball and not volleyball here.
Yeah.
As she swats the ball out of bounds.
She swatted it out to nobody there. And I want to go back to Solis. We talked about her only averaging just under 1 point per game. And Nelson gave her a nice, easy layup, but she couldn't hold on to it. So exactly what we're talking about. Nelson, it's good to see her, even though she can't get the points to fall. She's being a distributor, which is always good to see from her.
That's something you can always count on for Temple, is Aaliyah Nelson getting the assist in the box.
Absolutely. And that's a great pass down low from Daly to Adam Usayo, but she can't hold on. And that'll be out of bounds, and that'll go to the Owls.
Speaking of Adam Usayo, so far 2 for 3 from the field with 4 points. It's just a lot of the current players here on the court for Northwestern are shooting above 50%, and it's just the fact they're not getting too many opportunities to do so. So if Northwestern can keep the ball on their end for a reasonable amount of time, then they can really start to run away.
Yeah, 4 points, even though she's only averaging just under 2 per game at 1.9. So above her average. As here's Gary, thought about a 3, now pulls up, mid-range jumper, can't get it to go. Offensive rebound by Denise Solis. Over to Tiara East, working baseline, good layup, but can't get it to go off the rim, not enough on it. So Temple, so many good looks in this game, but just can't get them to go. They should honestly be up by maybe close to double digits if they could get those easy points to fall. As there's Paige Mile working down low on Solis. Easy layup, puts her team up 38-34 Wildcats. Just over 4 minutes to go in this third quarter. And Temple needs to be careful as they're 0 for their last 4. Haven't scored in over 20 and over 2.5 minutes. And just as we talk about it, easy opportunities there for the Owls. A wide open layup for Tiara East, who has been good in this game, but can't get it to go. She was fouled, but that was an easy and one there for her, Andrew.
I mean, when it comes to Tiara East, so far, as we've said, she's been one of the only factors for Temple thus far. But if the shots can't connect and nothing's going to fall, you really got to wonder what direction Temple's going to go in. I mean, as we said, Ness Piper scored a few minutes ago, but she subbed out, and not been a factor since.
Yeah, and we're going to a timeout here, but we're gonna stay here on the air on WHIP Radio on YouTube. Again, I'm Zachary Silverstein with Andrew Mayo. And, Temple is getting close to conference play. We talked about it before the game, how they're gearing up to it. You need games like this where you're facing a team in Northwestern who's 4-7 on the year. You want to win this game so that you can have a nice groove going into conference play. And I know you want to talk about it, so I want to get your thoughts on what Temple needs to do to kind of keep things rolling. 3-game win streak here before they start that American Athletic Conference matchup.
What's fun to talk about with Temple is that they're almost technically in 2 conferences, because you look at the City 6 and Big 5.
Exactly,
and those are teams they see every year, all the same that they do with their conference matchups, only they see them half as often. But you look at their recent success, and with their last game, a recent win over LaSalle, 85-61, and then a few weeks ago, 61-47 against UPenn, and just barely got edged by St. Joe's there towards the end, losing 67-65. As we talked about, we believe that they led some point there late in the game. We don't need to talk about the Villanova game.
Yeah, we'll leave that one out.
That was not fun to call at all. But anyway, it was fun. But back to the point. As Temple gears up to go into conference play, they seem very confident against teams they know. So, in my opinion, I find the Big 5 City 6 teams to be of higher quality than a lot of the AAC.
Yeah.
So, I just think that Temple's in good shape, and as long as they can get the win here, they'll be in very good standing to just go in with the hot hand and keep it coming.
Yeah, I feel like there's probably you bring up a really good point, how it kind of is like 2 conferences. That's 4 or 5 games every year for Temple, guaranteed just within their own city. And then Delaware as well, they played, who's not too far away. So a lot of local games for the Owls. Delaware State as well. So Delaware and Delaware State, they played this season. A lot of local games, good competition, and you want to keep things rolling. Temple could very well be on, like a 6-game winning streak here, if not for those losses to Pacific and St. Joe's. So they don't want to let this one slip away. Yeah. 3 total points they lost by in those 2 games combined. So don't want to let this one slip away. But, Aaliyah Nelson, we talk about her all the time. 1 for 11 from the field is not good enough. It's good to see that her confidence isn't slipping because she has taken 11 shots. So you want to see that she's still confident in her abilities. But she really has to get going. 2 points is not good enough for her.
That's something I even said earlier this game, is that I don't want Aaliyah Nelson to miss a few shots and then turn into an assist machine. However, when you're at the point in the game where we're almost gearing up for the 4th quarter here and shots aren't falling, and Aaliyah Nelson can dish the ball, you got to wonder, just if she were to stop shooting and she starts to dish, then it gives the other players more opportunity to get the hot hand, such as an S. Piper who's just checked back in. If Aaliyah Nelson starts to dish and an S. Piper can get the ball more, that just gives her more opportunity to turn up. But as we mentioned with Aaliyah Nelson, just the other day against the University of Delaware in the 72-65 win, Aaliyah Nelson had 22 points in 37 minutes. And I was just really hoping to see that out of her today.
Yeah, this could be a game where she could have carried that over, but not able to. As Tiara East is at the free throw line after the foul before that break, and she gets that first free throw to go. Owls now trail 38-35, and gets the second free throw to go as well. She is a 74% free throw shooter on the season, adding to that total as she gets both to fall on that trip to the line. Owls trail 38-36, as here is number 12, Harder with it, being guarded by Nelson. Picks up her dribble, gives to Adam Usayo. That's a great pass by Adam Usayo. Downloaded Daly, and Daly pulls up, banks that one in. Northwestern up 40-36. And, Adam Usayo is a 6'4" junior forward, so to see her make that pass at 6'4" is very impressive.
See, Adam Usayo and Daly both have a very similar lanky build, and you'd think that would help contribute to the rebounding on Temple's offensive end.
Yeah. And that was a nice shot there by Taylor for the Owls. Couldn't get it to go as off the rim and out of bounds, but it will stay with the Owls. Owls trail by 4, 3:25 left in this 3rd quarter. Tristan Taylor inbounding it over to Nelson in the corner. Being guarded by Walsh, gives over to Tucker. Tucker working on Adam Usayo. Nice turnaround. Trying to have a turnaround floater. Andrew, I think she might have had a step there on Adam Usayo. And spinning back into the defender made her life a lot more difficult.
You see, also Adam Usayo, we just talked about the build. She is very lanky, very long with the wingspan, very tall, and she just did a great job using that to her advantage and putting the pressure on Rain Tucker.
And Tiara East comes around a screen off the inbound, pull-up jumper, but she's fouled, and she'll go to the line looking for 2 more.
You see, Rain Tucker is our second tallest owl here, being 6'1", just behind Jaleesa Molina at 6'2". But when you look at her standing next to Adam Usaya, who is 6'4", she almost looks like a guard.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why it's even more impressive that Temple's having so much success on the offensive glass as Tiara East first free throw bounces off the rim. Owls trail 40-36.
We haven't really seen Adam Usaya at the 5 spot defensively so far, surprisingly enough. And I think that Northwestern is starting to take note of that. Actually, the exact opposite, right as I say that. Announcer thinks Adam Usaya subs out for Kaylee Walsh.
And Tiara East just real quick got that second free throw to fall. So Owls trail 40-37. Tiara East, a 5'10" junior out of Louisville, Kentucky. Here's Harder with it. Over to Walsh. Now, Mott down low. Throws that one up being guarded by Tucker, but Tucker fouls her. So now Paige Mott will go to the free throw line, looking to add to her scoring total. She has 8 in this game, 4 for 5 from the field, and she'll go to the line for the first time in this game.
You see, Harder's been quite the efficient shooter so far in this game. While only having 7 points on the board, she shot 3 for 4 from the field and 1 for 1 from 3.
Yeah. As Paige Mott gets that first free throw to fall. Paige Mott, quick little fact for her, she's a local girl here from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, went to Abington Friends School, which is not too far, just outside of Philadelphia in Jenkintown, PA. So local. I'd have to imagine that Temple, she was probably recruited by a lot of schools in this city, those City 6 schools, but of course chose Northwestern to play her college ball. She is a senior forward as she got both free throws to fall. Wildcats lead 42-37.
Her being local wouldn't be too unlikely for her to spend a good amount of time around Temple women's basketball.
Oh, I'm sure she might have came to games growing up. She might have family here as well watching her. As Tiara East pulls out, gives over to Nelson. Nelson has East wide open in the corner. East drives in. Pull-up jumper. No good, but Piper pulls down the rebound, gives out to Nelson. Nelson, pull-up 3. She gets it to fall. Aaliyah Nelson, catch and shoot 3-pointer. Now 5 points on the game. Owls trail 42-40. And like we said, she's not losing her confidence.
Not at all. You love seeing that from a guard who just hasn't been hitting shots. Just finally keeping the rock going up to the rim and getting it to fall finally here late in the game.
And Melanie Daly pulls up for a jumper but is fouled. So just as we said, that first half, there were only 4 total free throws between both teams. They had 2 each. A lot of free throws in this second half. Totally different game. Refs blowing their whistle. A lot of physical play. And in this second half, Northwestern will go to the line for their 3rd and 4th free throws. And Temple, in the second half, has 6 free throws in this. As that first free throw is no good. Yeah, they're 5 for 6 from the line, Temple is.
That was the 5th out of the upcoming 6 free throws here from Northwestern. Sorry.
Now, and the second free throw falls for Melanie Daly after the first one missed. Wildcats lead 43-40. 2 minutes to go here in this first half. As Rain Tucker drives in, almost gets the and one to go, but she's fouled, can't get it to fall.
You see, Rain Tucker kind of made that a little bit more complicated for herself than she needed to. She had a wide open lane with the left and kind of drove a little more aggressive and harder than was really demanded.
Yeah, now that'll be more free throws for the Owls. The 7th and 8th free throws in the second half coming up for Temple. As Rain Tucker can't get that one to fall. She's at the free throw line. She is a 69% free throw shooter on the season. As her second one is good. She's now 3 for 4 on the game. 13 points for her in this matchup. Owls trail 43-41. Caroline Lau gives over to Maggie Pina. Daly down low to Walsh. Let's see what Walsh does. You know, that's just too easy for Walsh. Right over Rain Tucker. Took one dribble, floated it up, no problem. Wildcats lead 45-41. Aaliyah Nelson, 5 points on the game, has it, but gives over to No, now it's Rain Tucker down low. Easy layup for Tucker. Gets that one to go. Driving right around Kaylee Walsh. As Kendall Currents for the Owls is making her first appearance this afternoon. She is a sixth-year player, believe it or not, a sixth-year guard, 5'9", out of Bourne, Maryland. Here's the Wildcats with it. It's Daly being guarded by Nelson at the free throw line. Mott, point blank layup, can't get it to go. East has it, driving past midcourt. Nelson calling for it, but East doesn't see her. East driving in, layup, no good off the rim. Rain Tucker pulls it down, gets that one to go. Second chance points for the Owls. They now trail 45-43.
See Mott there on the Northwestern miss. She put the layup up against the backboard, hit against the rim a couple times. She turned around because she just thought it was going to go in.
Yeah, she kind of took it for granted there, thought that one was going to go in. And it ended up costing her, but of course Temple would take that.
Temple finally tying up this game once again after not leading for a lot here throughout the second half.
Yeah. Tie game, 45-45. After that layup by Rain Tucker. She's up to 17 points in this game, 7 for 12 from the field. Very efficient. As Aaliyah Nelson will check out of the game for Donice Solis. She will find her way into this contest. Melanie Daly gets that first free throw to fall.
You see, if I'm the Owls here, something that I really watch out for is a three-point shooting by Northwestern. So far, they haven't taken many, but they are shooting 42% from beyond the arc at 3 for 7.
Yeah. And, yeah, they are shooting very well. On the season, they're just under 36%. Not bad for a team average. As that second free throw from Daly is good. Northwestern back up by 2, 47-45. 20 seconds to go. Here's Tristan Taylor over to Demi Washington. Solis over to Currents. Currents, East has it. East driving in and loses the ball, and Northwestern has it. They got 8 seconds. Here's Lau pushing. Great pass to Daly, but a good closeout by Taylor. Daly throws it up, gets that one to go, and time will expire here in this third quarter. Not what you want from Temple. To end it on that note, they trail 49-45 after tying it up 45-45. A quick little 4-0 run for the Wildcats.
See, things are looking all purple here in the Liacouras Center as Northwestern finally closed out that quarter, maintaining their lead 49-45 here. If I'm Northwestern, I'm very satisfied with the way that this team has played here in the second half of basketball.
Yeah, Northwestern closed out that third quarter, making 4 of their last 5 shots. They outscored Temple 23-15 in that third quarter. So we're going to go to a quick break here, and we'll be right back for the fourth quarter. I'm Zachary Silverstein alongside Andrew Mayo. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back after this quick break. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to WHIP Radio on YouTube. I'm Zachary Silverstone alongside Andrew Mayo. Owls trail 49-45. Kaylee Walsh starting to step it up, 13 points in this game, 6 for 10 from the field. And as Temple will inbound it here after that timeout, TR East gives to Rain Tucker. Tucker with 17 points this game, but there's a foul called as East hits the deck. No, that's Aaliyah Nelson hitting the deck, excuse me. That is a foul on Northwestern. McWilliams called for that foul. Temple will inbound, Aaliyah Nelson.
See, Aaliyah Nelson is such an efficient passer that they consistently have her on the inbound, despite being guarded by some of the taller players on the court.
She's the smallest player on the floor, but does their inbounding almost every single time. And that's no good by Temple, as Northwestern will grab the defensive rebound. Caroline Lau just crossing midcourt. Lau being guarded by Nelson. Daly calling for it, and she has it guarded by East. Just about over that right wing area. Solis, Piper switches on. Daly pulls up, and Piper fouls her. Daly will go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
See, for Daly here, she has 9 points on the night so far, 3 of 9 from the field. And even though that's not a huge amount, something that Zach and I were talking about during the break is just how a lot of Northwestern scoring has been a little dispersed throughout the roster. Very different from the lopsided Temple scoring that we talked about.
And as she gets that first free throw to fall, Daly is a 5'11 junior guard out of Hastings, New York. Has played in 10 games this season. Just a 61% free throw shooter, but really good from the line this afternoon. She is now 5 for 6 from the line, despite being just 61% on the season. As East has it now, being guarded by Harder. Tucker calling for it. She's feeling it. 17 points in this game. Wide open pull-up jumper from Washington, and she gets that one to fall. Demi Washington finally on the board, now 1 for 8 from the field. Owls trail 51-47. 8:50 to go in this fourth quarter. Lau controlling the offense, has the ball. Now Daly with it in the corner. I believe that's Walsh. Yes, it is. Back over to Daly. Now Lau with it again. Washington guarding her. Daly, pull-up jumper, wide open. Gets that one to fall. And now, Andrew, we're starting to see collapses in Temple's defense, which is giving up a lot of easy opportunities for the Wildcats.
More than anything, Temple has stopped getting their second chance opportunities so far throughout this second half. And as we predicted, it's kind of just going to limit Temple scoring-wise, and they're going to have to show up on the other end.
As Tucker can't get that mid-range jumper to fall, Lau pushing across midcourt. And turnover almost forced from the Owls. TR East almost saved it, but it hit off her shoulder and then went out of bounds, so possession will stay with the Wildcats. As Paige Mott will check out of the game Paige Mott will check into the game. Excuse me, that is McWilliams who is checking out.
Almost a huge play there by East, making the defensive effort, putting the pressure on, and almost throwing it out off the Northwestern player. Just had her foot in the wrong spot.
Yeah. Paige Mott, like I said, checking in. She has 10 points in this game, 4 for 6 from the field. Here's Daly with it. Nice turnaround jumper. Gets that one to go over Tariana Gary. Now, Melanie Daly really starting to feel it.
Good effort.
She's got 15 points in this game.
Sorry about that, Zach.
No, you're good.
Good effort there by Aaliyah Nelson. Just didn't really turn out in her favor. Gave Daly an even better shot.
Yeah, Daly with 15 points in this second half alone. As Temple can't get that one to fall. Lau with it again, pushing, being guarded by East. A little extension of the shoulder, extension of the elbow, the referees say. And that'll be a foul on TR East.
You see, when it comes to Daly so far in this game, not only is it 15 just in this half alone, but she's shooting 5 for 11 so far. And when you look at her field goal percentage in the first half, she only shot 0 for 5.
Yeah.
So usually a player would just take that and let it negatively affect their confidence, but Daly has not whatsoever.
As Walsh gives down low to Mott, but Mott can't get that one to go. As she looked kind of surprised after she missed that one, very frustrated. As TR East has it, here's Nelson with it on the right wing. Nelson, pull-up jumper at the free throw line. Gets that one to go after a couple bounces. Aaliyah Nelson up to 7 points in this game. 3 for 14 from the field.
How sweet would an Aaliyah Nelson run here be late in the game?
Exactly what they need, too. Lau with it. Washington switches on. Tried to find her, but Nelson steals that one. Here she is, pushing. 3-on-2 fast break. Demi Washington gets that layup to go. Al starting to feel it on a nice little run, trailing 55 to 51. Leah Nelson, like you said, starting to take over, Andrew.
Exactly, man. Like we just said, coming out of that last basket, a Leah Nelson run here will be awesome. However, we just saw she tried to force a steal there late after the inbound just now, but she got a foul. And not only that, but she seems to be walking a little funny here.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You do not. The last thing we need is an injury to Leah Nelson. But here is, that's number 12, Harder with it, being guarded by Nelson. Now Walsh with it, top of the key, finds Lau. Lau trying to find Walsh, but great defense by Temple. Daly pulls up, free throw line jumper, gets that one to fall. So now Melanie Daly, no points in that first half. Now 17 in the second half, which, I mean, you touched on it. You scored no points in the first half. You might just kind of let it affect you, take it for what it is. She made it turn around her entire game as Gary's wide open on the left wing. Can't get it to go. Another opportunity. Tariana Gary for three. Gets that one to fall. Tariana Gary finally on the board. 1 for 5 from three-point range. 1 for 6 in total. And now the Owls trail just 57 to 54 out of one possession game here.
This run here is exactly what the Owls needed to get themselves back in this game, just trailing by 3 here late in the last 5 or so minutes.
Yeah, if not for Melanie Daly, they'd be leading this game. And here's Daly with it again. Pull-up jumper. Gets it to go again. 19 points in this second half. 19 for the game as well. I mean, Andrew, I don't know if I've seen a player turn it around as much as she has this entire season.
Not only just that sweet snatchback bucket there for mid-range, but all half she's been showing up so far. Just 19 in this half one, almost with a 20 bomb just in the last 15 minutes of play.
And Aaliyah Nelson tried to get that layup to go, but fell over, couldn't get it to go, fell off the rim. Here's Paige Mount working down low on Demi Washington. Kaylee Walsh for three, and she gets that one to fall. So after a nice little run by Temple, Northwestern goes on a run of their own, 3 for their last 3. Kaylee Walsh is up to 16 points on the game. Northwestern leads 62 to 54.
The only proper response here for Temple is keep it coming. If Northwestern is going to come down and hit shots, the only thing you can do in response is to hit your own.
Yeah, you cannot give in. Here's Aaliyah Nelson in the corner for 3. Too strong off the outside of the rim. Kaylee Walsh pulls down the offensive rebound. And Caroline Lau maybe wanting to take her time here. Walsh with it. Over to Lau. Now over to Harder, Harder pulls up for a mid-range jumper. Gets that one to fall. Now after trailing by just 3, the Owls find themselves down by 10.
Just like that, Northwestern in the span of 60 seconds has sucked all the air out of the room.
And Diane Richardson wants to talk things over with her squad. She cannot be happy after her team surrendered. That was a quick 7-0 run for Northwestern like it was nothing. Led by Melanie Daly, who has 19 points on the game, 7 for 13 from the field. Kaylee Walsh, the second leading scorer with 16, 7 for 11. But we're going to take a quick break after that 7-0 run by the Wildcats. I'm Zachary Silverstein alongside Andrew Mayo. We'll be right back after this quick break, looking to see if Temple can turn things around. Hello, everyone. Welcome back in the WHIP Radio on YouTube. I'm Zachary Silverstein alongside Andrew Mayo. And after a quick 7-0 run from the Northwestern Wildcats, they find themselves up by 10, 64-54 with 4:15 left in regulation. But we want to talk about the bench points real quick. Temple only has 3 bench points this afternoon. It's Tariana Gary, who just made a 3-pointer not too long ago. So before that, had none for the game. Just 7 for Northwestern, but, Temple needs contributions from other people, and they're just not getting it, especially from their bench.
Not only other people, but just other baskets. As we just said, the only bench points for Temple have been one individual field goal, one 3-pointer by Tariana Gary. And that's just unacceptable from an offensive standpoint if we want to win games.
And Tariana Gary has just 3 points on the game after scoring 23 points in 24 minutes on Sunday against LaSalle. So not what you expect from her. We both thought she was going to carry it over against Northwestern. Hasn't been able to do that. But now, real quick, Andrew, Melanie Daly, no points in the first half. 19 in this second half. She's the difference maker in this game. 19 in the second half. Kaylee Walsh is second with 16 total. And she's been incredible. To go from no points to 19 points in the blink of an eye, you don't see that often.
She could have less than half of the points she has right now, and I would still be impressed.
Yeah.
Just based on the fact that she is shooting as efficiently as she is. 7 for 13 from the field after going 0 for 5 in the first half.
Yeah. And she's 7 for 8 in the second half. Incredible. And now Temple will have it looking to respond. Tiara East at the top of the key being guarded by Caroline Lau. East comes around a screen by Tucker. East stuck on the baseline, has to pass out to Taylor. East with it again. Pull up 3 from the wing. Gets it to go. Tiara East with 20 in this game. Owls now trailed by just 7.
As we were saying during the break, a bucket there would go a long way for Temple, and that's exactly what it did.
Here is Northwestern with it driving. It's Jasmine McWilliams, and she's fouled by Rain Tucker.
A lot of this crowd and Rain herself are questioning that call there, because Rain Tucker didn't really put her hands down, but I guess the ref saw something we might have not.
Yeah, once that whistle was blown, you could see the look on Rain Tucker's face, very confused there. But now Jasmine McWilliams will go to the free throw line. She is shooting 100% from the line on this season.
Oh, boy.
8 for 8. She is out of Indianapolis, Indiana, a 5'11 senior guard who has played in this is just her second appearance on the season. But, she got that first free throw to go. Now 65-57. And her second free throw is good as well. Still 100% from the line on this season. Now 10 for 10. Temple running out of time here to make a comeback. Trailing by 9, 66-57, 3:35 left in regulation. Looking like they're running things through TR East. Lee Nelson giving up to East.
I was just going to take note of that. I think running the offense through TR East is very smart. Aaliyah Nelson finally hitting shots. It would be good to dish to her.
As Nelson drives in. Tough layup by Aaliyah Nelson. Gets that one to go. 66-59. Just over 3 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. A much better second half from Nelson after struggling mightily in that first half. Daly with it again as McWilliams has it. Now it's Mott down low. McWilliams pull-up jumper, air ball, and no box out from the Owls as Loud pulls it down. Pull-up jumper from Harder. Can't get that one to go. Another offensive rebound. Now this is exactly what you don't need if you're Temple, just giving the Wildcats second chance opportunities while the clock continues to run as Lau has it on the right wing. Harder. It's deflected by East. Nelson has it. Pushing, driving in. Tough layup. And she shoots it over the backboard. Aaliyah Nelson may be trying to do a little too much there. And, she looks like she's in disbelief, just staring at her bench.
I mean, we are too, are we not?
Yeah, she shot it right over the backboard.
But beside the little offensive miscue there, what a good job by Aaliyah Nelson to secure the ball and make the play happen, or not really make it happen, but get the play set up. Just because Aaliyah Nelson wasn't even looking the direction of the defender, but the ball just ended up in her hands.
Yeah.
And instead of overthinking it, she just took it and ran with it.
And I think she could have continued to run a little bit faster. She's a very small player out there, very quick as well. She had a mismatch there with the speed. It kind of slowed up, and that allowed McWilliams to catch up to her. Here's Harder with it, top of the key. As East switches on to her, defending her. Tucker guarding McWilliams. What a great pass down to Daly. Daly finally misses. And East has it now, pushing close midcourt. Nice. She can't get that one to go after the jump stop by East. She had space there, but couldn't get it to fall. Very good jump stop there. That was a very nice move there from TR East.
Beautifully executed, just couldn't get the shot to fall, unfortunately. Rain Tucker was trying to get in for the rebound, but a great box out there by Northwestern.
Great defense on the inbound. Nelson tips it out of bounds.
So that's that pressure we like to see. Even though that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, doesn't show up as a steal or a turnover, it's still a very good play there by Aaliyah Nelson, just making her presence known.
You have to, at the very least, just force pressure and make life difficult for your opponent. As Daly will have it now crossing midcourt. Daly again with 19 points in this game, all coming in the second half. Inez Piper switching on to Harder. Harder over to McWilliams. McWilliams guarded by East. East goes down, and that'll be an offensive foul on Jasmine McWilliams. Great defense there by TR East. As she's pointing out a wet spot there on the court. Lucky she didn't get hurt there.
You see, if Temple wants to get themselves back in this game and to get a win in their column, they're going to have to start scoring right now. With a minute 32 left and they're down 7 here, there's not much opportunity left.
Yeah, if I'm Temple, well, if you're Diane Richardson in this huddle right now, as we have a quick timeout, what would you be telling your players here? Are you going for threes, or are you just trying to go for quick twos?
I'm glad that you segued into that, because that was something I did want to talk about. If I'm Diane Richardson, I say to get the smart basket. If that happens to be a 3, awesome. But I set up a play, get some screens, get some movement, and see what I can make happen. However, I know this Temple team, and I know that they're going to shoot a 3.
Yeah.
If they don't shoot a 3, I would be amazed.
Yeah, they've taken 19 in this game, made just 6 of them. 31.6% from three-point range in this game. And, Northwestern is on a scoring drought. 2 minutes and 8 seconds, they haven't scored a single point. But Temple hasn't been able to take advantage. So Temple starting to step it up on the defensive side of things. But when you can't take advantage on offense, makes life very difficult. But now Temple here is walking back out on the court as we're about to get ready for play once again. But, yeah, do you think, you touched on it, quick points here, but I think there is a balance between working fast and not rushing. You want to work quick, but you don't want to rush. And that's exactly what Temple needs to do. They need to find that balance here in the last minute and a half.
A minute and a half isn't a huge amount of time, but it's enough time where you can have a handful of possessions and think about what you want to do. Because you can have a million possessions in the last few minutes where you just get the ball and shoot it.
Yeah. And Temple inbounded it there to Aaliyah Nelson, but a whistle from the referees. Not sure what the call is.
Seems that S. Piper's going to line up for the inbound, so it will be Temple ball.
Looks like they're just going to redo the inbound. Diane Richardson talking to one of the referees, looking for an explanation there.
It might have been a shot clock issue because, as we saw on the video screen, the shot clock was brought up the second the call was made.
Yeah, so it looks like a clock issue there, so they're just going to redo the inbound. Inez Piper will inbound to TR East again, running the offense through East in this fourth quarter. East pulling it out, finds Tariana Gary. Thought about a 3, but now goes down low to Tucker. Tucker working on Mott. Nice turnaround floater there from Rain Tucker. She's up to 19 on the game, 8 for 15 from the field. Temple trailing by 5.
Consider me amazed.
Yeah.
As I said, I was fully expecting a Temple three-pointer. I'm glad that I did see that bucket.
Yeah, they went for the quick 2 there. Daly has it guarded by East, looking for Mott down low. Mott over to Daly. Daly pull-up jumper. Gets that one to fall after about 3 bounces there. She's got a really nice pull-up jumper.
You're telling me. But if I'm Temple, I just keep dishing down to Rain Tucker and make sure we get those 2 easy points.
Aaliyah Nelson, nice pump fake. Wide open jumper at the free throw line, but can't get it to go. Now 38 seconds to go. Temple down by 7. And this might be where you want to start to foul, but looking like Temple just going to let it. No, they do end up fouling. Tariana Gary fouls Caroline Lau, and looks like the game might be starting to get out of reach here for Temple.
See, Caroline Lau is somebody we talked about in the intro. Just 17 points in their last game against Bradley. But on this night, she shot 1 for 3 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, 50% from the line, but just 3 points in the game.
Yeah, they did their job containing her, but other people stepped up. As Harder inbounds it to McWilliams, and there'll be another foul there. Rain Tucker fouling Harder.
It's a smart job of Northwestern to get the ball in the hands of some of their better shooters.
Yeah. As
we see Harder take the foul, and she's 4 for 6 from the field and 1 for 2 from 3 so far. Hasn't shot a free throw, but with those stats, I'm sure that she's able to knock it down.
Yeah, Casey Harder, a 5'11" freshman guard out of Harleysville, Pennsylvania, gets that first free throw to fall. She's shooting just under 73% from the free throw line this season. She is up to 10 points on the game, making 11 after she knocks down that second free throw. And Temple finds themselves down 9 with 27.9 to go in this fourth quarter, and there'll be a timeout call by Diane Richardson. But we're not going to go to break. We're going to stay here once again during this timeout. I mean, looking like the game is out of reach for Temple, Andrew, and they were leading, had a nice, comfortable lead. We're also up by halftime by 4. Their shooting really ended up getting to them. They shot, look, you ready for this? 79 shots they took in this game. They made just 24. I mean,
it's about 39 minutes of play nonetheless.
Yeah, they shot 30% from the field. So I want to get your thoughts overall on the game as Temple walks back out for the last 30 seconds.
Well, I attribute a lot of that shooting, as we talked for a lot of this game, about offensive rebounds. When you have a lot of second chance opportunities, I can't exactly complain when they put the ball back up. However, I can complain when they don't make those shots, despite having 2 or 3 chances of possession.
They have shot 30 more field goals than Northwestern, but they made 3 less shots. Here's Tiara East with the top of the key. Aaliyah Nelson with it. Driving in on Lau. Tough layup. Tries to get that one to go, but she's fouled. And I believe she'll go to the line because that was a shooting foul.
See, this loss might be something Temple needs before going into conference play.
Yeah.
Because if they go in too confident, like we said, in the last 5 games, they've won 4 and only lost to Atlantic by 1 point. And before that, only lost to St. Joe's by 2. But if you can really humble this team and get themselves knowing who they are and what their weaknesses are right before conference play, then that can give them time to adjust and really just prepare for their upcoming conference game against UTSA.
Yeah, and that first free throw is good by Leah Nelson. She's shooting 90% from the line this season. So second one is good as well. We mentioned she's averaging just under 11 points per game, but she did have 10. No, she has 11 now, but it took 19. She took 19 shots. So it took 19 shots and 2 free throws to get to that 11. So not efficient from her. And as a fifth-year player and the starting point guard for this team, you need her to step up. And she did not help Temple's cause this afternoon.
Not only does she need to step up, but Aaliyah Nelson is somebody that we know loves to shoot the 3 ball. And when she can get in motion, she'll shoot a lot of it. However, she's only shot 5 tonight and only made 1 of them. So if I'm Aaliyah Nelson, I know the 3-point shooting is one of my strengths. So why limit myself? Why stop shooting threes if I know that they will, I, at least as a viewer, know that they will hit eventually.
Yeah.
But in Aaliyah Nelson's shoes, I just expect a little more confidence in that aspect.
And only 2 free throws as well. When you're shooting 90% from the line, be aggressive, drive in from time to time, draw that contact. Only 2 free throws, and it took till the very end here. As Northwestern will inbound, Caroline Lau has it. Nelson guarding her. And that's another take foul by the Owls.
See, Nelson was clearly trying to foul there for a few seconds. It just took a minute for the whistle to catch up.
And Lau will go to the free throw line. I mentioned she's shooting just under 93% from the line. So, the last person you want to foul for Northwestern, but that's why they got the ball into her off that inbound.
Oh.
And just as I say that, the announcer's jinx, she misses her first free throw.
Speaking of announcer's jinx, she's awesome. She's 100% going to make this next shot.
And she missed. Caroline Lau, shooting just about 93% from the line, misses both of her free throws. And now, there's only 15 seconds left in this game. But you get a quick 3. 4-point game. You make things interesting here. Those free throws could really hurt Northwestern here if Temple can make something happen.
See, I'll ask you, Zach. As we said, a quick 3. That would be, in my opinion, at least a logical play call, and Northwestern's going to know it's coming. So you're really going to need somebody who can take a 3-point shot with contest. At least tonight alone, or in general, who's your go-to player?
So she hasn't been great in this game, but if I'm Diane Richardson, I'm putting Tariana Gary on the floor. I'm setting a screen with either Rain Tucker or Denise Solis, maybe even Inez Piper. I'm having Gary come around it, catch and shoot three, and we just hope that it goes in. She's one of the best shooters on this team. Like I said, not playing well this game. Just 1 for 5 from three, but I think you want to give her a shot.
You see, generally, I really agree with that. I think Tariana Gary will be a good hand to go to. If not, Tiara East, so far this game, shooting 4 for 7 from three. And, I mean, I don't know if you can expect much more from beyond the arc.
Yeah.
However, if I had to draw up the play, just as you said, I think I'm going to have a Rain Tucker screen on the baseline, get Tariana Gary or Tiara East open for a corner three.
And we'll see right here as Nelson is going to inbound. And she gives to Tucker down low on the baseline. Tucker back to Nelson. Nelson lets it fly for three, and she gets it to fall. Aaliyah Nelson with a quick corner three. And the Owls force the turnover. Here's Nelson with it. Goes up, and she's fouled.
And
Aaliyah Nelson will go to the line, down 4.
And just like that, Temple has made this a 4-point, 2-possession game. Aaliyah Nelson's going to go for 2 at the free throw line. This could be a singular bucket game at the end of this free throw trip.
We mentioned how those missed free throws by Caroline Lau could have been huge. And now they are, as Temple finds themselves down just 4. We did call that 3, but it was Nelson, not Gary. She got to go, and then Tiara East playing real tight defense on that inbound, forcing the turnover, finding Nelson, and now she'll go to the line for 2 shots.
A huge set of free throws here for the guard.
And she gets the first one to go. Aaliyah Nelson, it's now a 1-possession game. The Owls trailing 70-63.
The question is, if you're the Owls, with this next possession here with Northwestern having the ball, do you foul with the 8 seconds left with the Northwestern leading by 2?
Well, real quick, Aaliyah Nelson made that first free throw, so now down just 2 with 8 seconds to go. And if I'm Temple, I'm going for the steal off the inbound. And if I don't get it, I'm fouling as quick as I possibly can. And I'm just hoping that Northwestern misses at least 1 free throw. That'd be the approach I take. And real quick, a 7-0 run from Temple in just 11 seconds. So, I mean, Northwestern with a major collapse here, and now things are looking really interesting.
See, this is Northwestern playing with their food a little bit. And like we said, Lau there at the free throw line, she makes one of those. That possession never even happens. It's never even an idea for Temple.
Yeah.
But even we saw it. Cremo all the way over here in the corner. A 3 would have been huge for Temple, and it's exactly what they got. And Aaliyah Nelson has come up huge here with 5 points in the last 5 seconds of play.
I mean, we just talked about her, too, needing to step up. She's only 5 for 20 from the field, but 16 points, 5 coming in the last couple seconds. So she has stepped up. She's done her job here at the end of the game so far. As Caroline Lau will inbound it here for the Wildcats. Harder trying to come around a screen, and they get it to her. Tipped almost out of bounds, but she regains possession, and Tiara East fouls her quickly.
We have Coach Silverstein up here. As we said, immediately go for the tipped steal pass off the inbound. The second you don't get it, foul. That's exactly what we saw.
And this will be Casey Harder at the free throw line. She's shooting just 73% from the line this season. So if there's someone you want to foul, she's one of them.
She has 100% from the free throw line tonight, though.
And we'll see as the crowd is cheering here, and she gets that first one to go. This game this afternoon, it is school night, or it is school day here at the game. So a lot of kids here looking to affect her and have her miss. But she gets it to go in and out, but then it goes back in. Tariana Gary crossing midcourt, down by 4, throws up that 3, and no good off the rim. And that'll do it as the final buzzer sounds. Northwestern beats Temple 72-68. They improve to 5-7 on the season. Their first road win of the season, now 1-3. Temple's 3-game win streak is snapped. Just an unfortunate loss here for the Owls. But, you know, you like to see that fight there towards the end.
You see, now that it's all she wrote, we know the final score, and Temple lost by 4. Rhyme. Anyway, jokes aside, you look back at the offensive rebounds, which we were talking about the entirety of the game. If Temple were to score individually 2 more baskets on those second chance points, we'd be in overtime right now.
Yep.
And it's just something that didn't happen. And so now Temple is another loss in their column as they gear up for conference play, and it just could have been very easily preventable. And this is something Coach Richardson's going to have to talk about in practice.
Yeah, this by far was one of the worst shooting performances from Temple this season. Andrew, they took 81 shots in this game. They made 25. Northwestern on the flip side, 49 shots, made 27 of them. So they took 30. What is that? Quick math. They took 32 less shots than Temple, but made 2 more. So if you're Diane Richardson, that's got to be glaring there when you look at that box score in that locker room. Like you said, Temple, they make 2 more shots, 2 more 2-point shots in this game. They're in overtime.
They had
3 more shots, they win.
Opportunities too. 2 opportunities. I mean, when you have as many offensive rebounds as you do as a team, and when you look at Temple, they had 27 offensive rebounds. If you make 2 more of those count, then this is a totally different game. And not even just 2. If you make half more of those count that didn't go for the Owls, and they win this game handily.
Yeah. 27 offensive rebounds, 17 second chance points, just 3 bench points, which is not going to cut it. Tariana Gary was the only one to score. She made a 3-point shot. Now, Temple starters do play a lot of minutes. They don't use their bench much, but still, you need more than 3 bench points from your other players there. But, like I said, you'd like to see the fight at the end of the game. Temple will lose this one, 72-68. A great game here at the Liacouras Center. An early game, 11 o'clock tip-off there, 11 a.m. School day here. Like I said, great atmosphere, but Temple could not pull it out. And that's going to do it all for this broadcast on WHIP Radio, on YouTube. Temple falls to Northwestern, 72-68. I'm Zachary Silverstein, alongside my partner, Andrew Mayo, and our producer, Tyler Blankenship, as well. Thank you so much for listening, and that's going to do it all here in North Philly.